Hello, I'm Danielle from Learn Reiki Philadelphia, and welcome to Community Distance Reiki. If you hear lots of zooming around, that's the kittens I'm fostering. They have a mean case of the zoomies this morning. It's extra cute. So I hope you do actually get to overhear some of it. From being very, very quiet, not knowing how to meow, and not understanding that they could even roam around an entire bathroom to running all over the apartment. It's actually been really beautiful to watch. If you are new here, welcome in. If you are returning, welcome back. And if you're watching on the replay, you are guaranteed just as fun and healing a time as if you were here live. If you would like to join me live, go ahead and check out that description. All of the regular days and times for my healing live stream 5 times a week are there, as well as my social media, Discord, crystal shop, and social media. So if you are here live, go ahead and feel invited to click the live chat button. Make any requests that you have for your own well-being, your healing intentions, whether they're general or specific. I can pick some crystals for you, or you can request some on your own. And as we go through it, the first 45 minutes or so, we will build a beautiful crystal grid to support the healing of everyone that is here. After that, I will quickly explain what Reiki is and a little of what to expect, and then we'll transition into the healing portion, where I'll turn the music up and turn the lights down and send healing to you whenever and wherever you happen to be. So let's dive right into the crystals. If you're watching this on the replay, hello from the past, go ahead and you can move to about the 45-minute point, or where the lights kind of dip lower, and just enjoy the music and the peaceful sending of Reiki. If you want to learn about some crystals and hang out with us, go ahead and rewatch the crystal portion. So I'm so happy to see some returning folks and some new folks. Let's dive right into the chat. Here we go. Here is the grid. There we go. Let me, my lights are a little all over the place. Hey, good morning, heart. Scorpio's coming up today. So yes, I've done the astrology and tarot for all 12 signs. This time I did it a little differently. I did the astrological overview as one video, and then the tarot for all 12 signs as separate videos. And those have been trickling out since the 30th, and the last 3, I think, are going to get posted today. So yeah, it will be up before 5 p.m. today. So yeah, you can go ahead and subscribe with notifications on, or just check back into the that playlist. Excuse me. But it will be up. And yeah, also Cancer needs to go up. And I forget which other one. I think it's Aquarius. I think those are the 3 that go up today. Yeah, a lot of people in Team Scorpio. Good to see you. All birthdays are right around now, actually, then. Korakar, Grace, Anita, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. Vincent, good to see you. Okay, great. So let's see what we have going on. Heart healing, back, studying. Yeah. Balance, protection, clarity. Yeah. Positive energy. Oh, you're Aquarius. Okay. I'm a Capricorn sun and an Aries rising. C Boggs, welcome. Team Sagittarius there. Awesome. Your video is up. That was a fun one. That was a fun one to read for. You're going to have a pretty fun month. Okay. So let's dive right in. We're starting it off, as always, with some copper. This helps here. The lighting is still a little bit off. Let me see if I can adjust that. Yeah, my lighting is a little off from filming different kinds of things, but yeah, that'll do. Okay, so we have copper to get the energy moving, breaking up those blockages. We've got this piece of jade here. This is not jadeite. This is another type of jade. Jade helps with prosperity, good luck, good fortune, good relationships, wealth, and fortune. So yeah, I think we could all use a little bit of jade in our lives right now. So let's go ahead and bring in some more of your requests. So one we've been using to support depression is one that I am so surprised has been helpful for me. And of course, I do all the things to support wellness. I don't shame meds or any of that. I use what works for me, including meds. And so for part of my recipe for helping myself with depression has actually been Aqua Aura, which is a man-made crystal. The crystal itself is clear quartz. It's anodized in a process using, I believe, titanium. And it gives it this bright blue kind of color, which would not be in nature for all that many things. This is been very helpful to support those of us dealing with depression. We've had some good results. I also find that there's not a lot of information on it to research. Not a lot of people have worked with it because it is a fairly new thing. And a lot of folks don't give much thought to the process stones, which I kind of didn't at first either. But, here we're warming up to it. So I'm putting that out in support of us and in support of Grace. Lots of love to you. We've also got heart healing. So many good choices for that. And back pain. We've been using a lot of rhodonite. We may end up using it again, but I feel like let's use some rose quartz for the heart healing today. Hey, good morning, Susan. Good to see you. Rose quartz is the stone of unconditional love. It more or less just sort of floods our energy field and our heart center. This can help us to let go of other feelings that are kind of taking up residency, taking up space, and support us as we're going through even the darkest parts of our personal healing. So, yep, we'll bring in that rose quartz. And for those of you just popping in, I'm so glad you are here. And again, the foster kittens are going ham this morning. So if you hear in the background, that's them with their zoomies. It's very adorable. For pain, we have celestite. I've been finding that this is really helpful for pain. Celestite is an angelic stone. It helps us to connect with our angels, which is great if you want some wisdom on your path forward and on leaving behind the pain of the past so you can embrace new experiences. I also work with integrated energy therapy, or IET, which is an angelic energy healing, similar to Reiki in that it's an energy healing and it's passive, different in that it's very targeted for mental, emotional, and karmic stuff that's holding us back. And it's angelic energy, not so much earth energy. This really works alongside of that. So if you want to have any connection with your angels to be enhanced or made easier, or to just sort of bring you out a little bit of your physical body so that it's easier not to focus on the experience of pain, celestite can be one of the stones that's helpful. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to get a hold of our birth times. It totally makes sense. Sometimes we can kind of narrow it down based on sometimes an astrologer can help you narrow down your rising sign without a birth time. Just looking at your personality and what things have kind of happened and things, it is a lot harder. But if you do have access to your birth time, that can be helpful. let's see. But if not, you can still tell a lot from the birth date and year. Also, usually the place that you were born is helpful. Let's see what else we had going on. Studying. Tiger eye and labradorite are both perfect study stones. Let's go with some tiger eye. Tiger eye helps us to gain perspective, like high-level perspective. It almost takes us on an intellectual level and zooms us out so we can see what's going on with more perspective, seeing how things relate to one another. This is a stone that is also protective, but it helps us to see patterns that repeat and helps us to see the whole story. So if we're studying or researching, we can take all of those disparate pieces of information and get a more holistic view of how they interconnect, where they relate to one another, and the full story that they tell. So it's not just learning different pieces of info and memorizing them, it's being able to understand it as a whole complex story in a way. So great for researching, detective work, any of that kind of stuff. Also fantastic for protection and clarity, like clarity of mind. It's a stone that I use a lot for that. So for that, I often use it like if I'm doing research-based writing. Like say I'm researching stuff for a Reiki class that I'm leading and I'm reading lots of books about things. I'll use this and labradorite to help me kind of gain a good insight into not just the different pieces of info, but how they relate so that I can make that into a story and have it make sense. Awesome. Good stuff. Cool. Okay, so let's go into, let me backtrack here. Good stuff. Okay, so thank you for being here, Grace, and all the love and support to you. Greg and Susan, I love this that we're requesting for each other. I love it every time I see it. Worthy of receiving. Balance, protection, clarity. And your mother for prosperity. Intuitional development. Literary agent, lawyer. Okay, good stuff. Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead into that. So let's go ahead with self-worth. Let's start with a little carnelian. I also have amazonite for that request because we've been working on that for a while, and I think that that one's helping. Carnelian helps support the sacral chakra and everything through it, from creativity to sexuality to just how we relate to others and the world. The place where the solar plexus and the sacral chakra meet, I'm also going to bring in some honey calcite. Basically, this helps the sacral chakra in how we relate to others in the extension of how we show up in society and how we feel in society as well. So if we feel like, hey, I'm here in society and I'm not worth XYZ, I'm not due XYZ, my place in society is kind of lower, sacral chakra and solar plexus chakra can be good places to support. So this helps support that sacral chakra, and it also helps to harmonize any kind of dissonance and discord. For anyone who's looking for fertility support, this is often a go-to stone. It has a lot of different purposes, and it's a great like starter kit kind of stone because it does so many different things. So I'm going to bring in Carnelian to help with that, and I'm going to put that near the tiger eye. Tiger eye does support the solar plexus to a good extent. It's very much connected to the mind as well. Amazonite can help not only with back issues, like specifically with like a spine and nerves, like bone and nerves of the back and spine, but it can also help with self-worth, self-respect, self-care. It's a great stone for the carers in our lives. So I usually recommend this for people who are nurses, who are like hospice workers, childcare workers. It reminds us that yes, we're giving care, that's our role, and we need care and deserve care as well. So let's go ahead and put some of this around. Hey, SS Ben, good to see you. A journey to expand consciousness, absolutely. Awesome, good to see you. So happy to see you. Okay, so let's see what else. And honey calcite, I think that's just one of our general favorite stones, isn't it? It helps bring some optimism in challenging times. And what about the last few years has not been challenging times? I don't care who you are. It's been challenging times. It definitely brings some support there. It supports that place between the center of self, the solar plexus, and the sacral, where we relate to others. It helps us to feel loved. It helps us to attract good, well-balanced colleagues, friends, and members of community that are based in that reciprocal support. Here I am. Here's what I have to provide and offer. I'm open to receiving support. I'd like to support you. I'd like to receive your support, that kind of reciprocity. So a really uplifting stone. It's also really helpful for folks going through menopause and how that impacts them on the feelings of how they relate to society as well. It can be really helpful with that. I went through surgical menopause years ago, and this is one of the stones I found helpful for that. This and unakite were very helpful. So go ahead and we'll put some of this around. There we go. Yeah, honey calcite is just so yummy. I absolutely love it. For clarity, protection, and I know that somebody you're asking for, you've mentioned before that there's balance, protection, clarity, that there's been a loss there too. So let's go ahead and bring in some black obsidian. You know what? I feel like maybe some black onyx. We haven't worked with that in a while, and that feels really good. Black onyx is a great stone for protection, illuminating the truth. It can help to connect with intuition, especially intuition that has to do with ancestors. So if you're working with any of your ancestors, if lost loved ones come back to you, this can be helpful. But also it's an excellent stone of grief. It allows us to gain some kind of grounded clarity in times of grief. This is also a stone that can help us in general, just sort of moving through different phases of life. It's a darker stone. It definitely relates more to like the root chakra and connection to spirit, even the shadow self, but it's also highly, highly protective. So it can help us feel when we're at our most vulnerable, it gives us a bit of support. If you're looking for crystals for protection, and energy clearing. I did do a video on that. That's in the playlist of videos, and black onyx is in that list. We've also got balance, clarity. Feel like some rutilated quartz. Yeah, let's do some rutilated quartz. Rutilated quartz helps to send the energy into exactly where it needs to go. It's thought that these rutils add direction to energy movement. It can bring immense mind-body clarity in clearing the mind. It's also thought to help us with energy if we need to re-energize after having been ill or just run down, like overly busy. It can also help us to get kind of some energy to keep us well. So rutilated quartz for sure. And I hope that that helps with clarity and balance and with prosperity. Let's go ahead with some pyrite. Fool's gold helps to call in real gold. It also helps to get the energy moving during Reiki, so it's a stone that you can use in the way that we're using copper today for that as well. It also helps, it's thought to help memory. A lot of folks have been using pyrite for memory and support of like dynamic cognitive function in a way. And it's interesting to see so many folks gravitating to it. It's a fairly new, as far as I'm aware, it's a fairly new use for pyrite. So if any of you are struggling with that, let me know if this helps. It's also considered very protective, and that it helps with fever and the lungs. So being that we've got COVID making rounds again, couldn't hurt to have this. So we'll bring this here. Very much helpful for prosperity, calling in wealth. It's often used for that. It's very helpful for intuitive development and for helping to call in intuition. Progression of a current situation. Hey, Jen, good to see you. Letting go of resentments. You got it. Gotcha. Okay. So progression of a current situation, letting go of resentment, expanding consciousness. I really like howlite for resentment, anger, and frustration. Dumortierite also, in a slightly different way. Howlite can also help with the bones, whether it's, broken bones, dislocated joints, all the way up to absorbing calcium and things like that, which is a thing I struggle with. It's thought that this is the go-to for teeth, bones, and hair, but it's also excellent for moving anger and resentment through your energy field. Whatever you're struggling with, that you can, sorry, cats distracted me, wanted to see what they were chewing on. Whatever you're moving through, whatever you're kind of processing, that you can help to move through those feelings rather than holding on to them and kind of stuffing them down, where resentment and anger can kind of blow up out of control and do things that you don't want it to. Also, they're just not very pleasant feelings to live with. So this can be very helpful. Let's see. Oftentimes when we find false turquoise, It's actually howlite that's been dyed because it has the veins that are similar, and it is such a white, and it is sort of it's a much softer stone, kind of like turquoises. It absorbs dye very well. So that's oftentimes we'll hear it called white turquoise when it's not white turquoise. White turquoise is a thing, but that's not the same thing. They're both great stones in their own right. And yeah, unfortunately, it gets processed into other things by being dyed. So, which is sad. It's just a great stone on its own. Let's see. Letting go of resentment. So, progressing, moving forward, spiritual expansion. Herkimer just jumped into mind for more spiritual expansion, but especially expanding our connection to intuition. It's also helpful when you're manifesting. It helps us to open up to the most spiritually compatible version of what we're asking for. So we're asking the universe for something, and the universe can kind of finesse it a little bit to find the higher version of it that benefits not just you, but the other people around you, the people you'll be doing business with, the people you'll be meeting in community, etc. So yeah, that's a good one. We'll bring that in to help with the support of finding the literary agent and all the things that we're all manifesting. It also really helps harmonize energy that just feels discordant. Like if it just feels kind of off, meditate a little bit with that one. I'm also going to bring in some lapis. Not only can honey calcite help call in good colleagues that you want to work with, but so can lapis. It's a stone of honesty and integrity, and it helps with deep communication and the truth. It also helps pain and inflammation, which is always a thing and definitely supports Grace's request. But it also aids disorganization, so if anyone's working with that. So yeah, if you're looking to work with people, you're calling people into your life, especially colleagues and things, or people that you're going to partner with for something significant, like an attorney, like a literary agent, someone who's going to take all of your hard work and bring it to the next level. This is a good stone to have working on your side as you do that. So let's go ahead and bring in this lapis. Actually, there we go. Tiger Eye and Garnet. Ah, thank you. You intend to own all precious stones. Yeah, I love it too. Some are so hard to get a hold of anymore. It's kind of sad. But let's see. We've got Tiger Eye out there, but let's go ahead and put some Garnet out there for you. I think that can support a few of us. This helps with organization and courage, especially courage. Also finding balance. It's a very balancing and grounding stone. It helps to activate and ground the root chakra. And it also helps to clear the mind as you're setting priorities to move forward. This is strength in times of change, but also anything that you would align with like executive function, organizing, planning, coming up with any kind of strategy and being more productive, making the most with your time. It's a very Capricorn stone, and I'm a Capricorn sun, so let's add some Garnet there. And this is how Garnet actually forms in the earth. If you're in Philly, as I know a lot of you are, as I am, the Fairmount Park over by the Forbidden Trail, you can find a lot of these in the dirt if you look. I mean, they blend right in, but they were brought in the Ice Age. It's like we still had a little bit of the Ice Age here. They were brought in by the glacier. So yeah, there's quite a bit of Garnet there. So pretty cool stuff. A lot of crystals there. So yes, thank you for being here, Ben. Progression, spiritual expansion. Let's see. There's so many good stones. Yeah, let's start with these. I love working with Larimar. I think I'm going to put that in the center. Larimar helps with kind of following your own light in a way, being a spiritual pioneer in your own right, whether this is something you're going to do for others or for yourself. It helps us to trust and accept and connect with our own spiritual path rather than putting the paths of others, the words of others, above what we're feeling, sensing, and connecting to. So it can be really helpful for connecting to spirit. It's a beautiful stone. It only comes from the Dominican Republic. This is also a way to have some really good confidence in connecting with spirit. Also helps to separate ego from your spiritual work. So if you're struggling with that at all, this can be helpful. And innovation in that way. Like if you want to find the best way for you to move forward and you're like, I don't see any one practice that resonates me or even few practices that resonate with me, this will help you kind of come up with one that will. So we'll bring in Larimar. We'll also bring in aragonite with blue Caribbean calcite. Oh, okay, cool. I'll connect you, heart. And so aragonite helps with with like a root chakra balance and helping to open up a connection to physical healing, like basically balancing the chakras, especially the root to the third eye. Caribbean blue calcite definitely helps with that spiritual connection. Put together, it's sort of like the idea of to have a healthy tree that can reach up high to heavens, you need a root structure that reaches deep down to earth to keep it stable. And this really embodies that on an energetic level. It helps to balance the upper chakras, the light blue parts, along with the lower chakras so that we can move energy more freely through our energy field. The Sushumna is like a line or tube, really, that goes through all of the chakras at the center point. It helps to facilitate better flow and movement there. It also helps to enhance the flow of things like Kundalini energy, if you're working on that. Basically, your individual sacred energy and transcending into awareness of our impermanence, but how we are interconnected with everything. So root chakra is our physically vital things to keep us physically alive, our needs, our anxieties, safety, basic needs, all that stuff, all the way up to the crown chakra, which is connection to divinity and everyone and everything around us, and helping to find balance in that. So it can help with spiritual expansion, but also doing it in a way that's very balanced, so that if you're having trouble on any side of it, either grounding after reflection, or if you're having trouble kind of getting to that spiritual place, this can be helpful on both sides of that. So we'll put that around. And last for that request, I wanted to put in blue kyanite. This helps us to understand the spiritual guidance that we're getting and make the best sense of it. It's also helpful for radical self-acceptance. So I feel like this can also help folks like Vincent to a point. Just, I am lovable and worthy and divine exactly as I am, even though I'm always a work in progress, because anybody on a spiritual path is. It's also helpful for things like neurological care, especially when it comes to things like stroke and mobility. So the cats are talking in case you hear them. The crystal for Kundalini, again, it is aragonite with blue Caribbean calcite. I'm going to type that into the chat. And for those of you who are watching on the replay, if you give me a little bit of time, like usually up to a couple of days after a stream, I type the names of all the stones in the description. So if you are looking to acquire it nearby, it helps if you can spell it. So yeah, so usually it will be in there. But yeah, that's a great stone for that. There's been a lot of it mined recently, so there's a lot of it on the market. It's beautiful. These are a little less bright blue. There are some that are very, very pale blue with like streaks of like a tannish kind of gold. Aragonite is another type of calcite. And actually, this is what it looks like by itself. So if you find aragonite without the blue Caribbean calcite, it looks like this. It's a calcite that comes from mollusks, that it's their remains that have been turned into a calcite. It's pretty cool. Okay. And let's see that I didn't overlook any. Healing protection for Vincent and you around flu shot, COVID booster, smallpox vaccine on Wednesday. Gotcha. I know, it's so fun times, right? Yeah. So let's see, physical healing. Definitely rutilated quartz is what I would have put in for sure. But let's also put in mookaite. This is decisions, accepting change, and an immune boost as well. And I know that can be somewhat helpful. Mookaite also goes by Australia Jasper. And it also comes with colors of yellow, like a mustardy yellow coming through it. I recently got a specimen to show you all what that looks like. This is another specimen of mookaite or Australia Jasper that I was able to get that actually, as they were cutting it, they realized there was wood that had been within the crystal as it was forming. And so this will be what's known as a vug later, where the wood you might be able to see here is kind of falling away. It's degrading as one would expect, and the stone will still be there. So that's another mookaite. We can put that there. That looks pretty. And I think, is there anything else? I think we're good. I'm just going to take one more peek. Yep, the cats are still going ham. Positive energy in general. Yup. Gotcha. Okay, good stuff. So let's go ahead. We're going to do that thing that we do where I think about all of your requests and I suggest a couple of stones. You all vote on them while I am explaining Reiki to those who are unfamiliar. So give me a moment to reflect and pick a couple. Go ahead and chat amongst yourselves while I do that. Okay, so here's what I have. So the first helps support that intuitive growth, and it's sapphire, blue sapphire. I actually did a short on this, so you can look into the folder of shorts, and you can see the crystals, it's basically clips from Community Distance Reiki where I talk a little bit about each stone. This is one of intense psychic and intuitive connection to spirit. It's so powerful and strong that you definitely want to use it with some grounding stones like garnet, black onyx, tiger eye. So that can help with the intuitive side. And leopard skin jasper, because I know we had some requests around a lost kitty, but also in general, a lot of us have animals and pets. Leopard skin jasper can be helpful for anything involving healing animals, especially animals being helped by humans. It also helps with attracting a soulmate and any kind of issue you might be dealing with that's impacting the skin balance or coordination. So that's leopard skin jasper. So go ahead and vote for which one you like. And for those of you who are new, you are not limited to just one vote. Hint, hint. Go ahead and vote in the chat. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the stream. It helps folks to discover me. And I'm going to quickly explain what Reiki is so we can get into the healing. So as I mentioned at the top of the hour, I'm Danielle Stimpson of Learn Reiki Philadelphia. I'm so happy to have you here today. I've been teaching Usui Reiki for about 14 years now. And this style of energy work is based around a method created by Mikao Usui in the early 1920s that was based on very much ancient methods and theories and understandings from Japanese culture and Hinduism and esoteric Buddhism and a number of other things as well. The very concept of what energy is, the very kind of foundation of the practice is the concept of energy that we see in the indigenous spirituality of Japan known as Shintoism. In Shintoism, everything has a soul. Everything is interconnected, and it's not just the people and the animals and the plants. It's literally everything around us has a soul. And as all of these are interconnected, there's a certain amount of personal energy and a certain amount of shared energy. One of these, if you will, frequencies of shared energy is known as Reiki, or spiritually guided soul energy or life energy. This energy is already flowing through everyone and everything all the time. It's a subtle force that our body, mind, and spirit work with all the time to support our greater good. Even though in our cultures we may not specifically work with this energy, it's there. Essentially, what I'll be doing through this practice is intentionally connecting with this energy and directing more of it to you. Your body, mind, and spirit will sort of use it to your best healing good. You can absolutely set all of the healing intentions you have. If you weren't here live or there was something you didn't want to share in chat, you can just go ahead and think about it at any time during the healing, and it'll support that. You may feel or sense sensations in your physical body. You may feel some emotions rise up. You may have some spiritual awareness or intuition that develops. You may also just be able to hear your inner dialogue and your subconscious a little bit better than you've been able to hear it lately. Whatever your experience during the session, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to keep your mind silent. You don't have to focus on anything, although you can if you want to. I suggest just taking a deep breath and seeing where the energy goes. And if you feel like you get distracted or you're not sure if this sort of stuff that you're hearing in your head is just mental babble or something helpful, take a deep breath and see if it comes back. You can lay down or sit up in any position that's comfortable. You can cover your eyes. You may take a nap. You may simply feel inclined to do something else like journal or stretch or play some music. It's totally up to you. This time is for you to take care of yourself. So essentially, while I'm sending the energy, I'm going to turn the music up. If you want to learn more about our music creator, her information is in the description below. I'm also going to turn the lights down low, and you'll notice that they'll move slowly and peacefully through several different colors. At no point will they flash or strobe. After 25 minutes of sending, you'll hear my voice come back in and encourage you to take a deep breath, slowly come back to the space that you're in. And at that point, I'll reopen the chat. As I reopen the chat, You're welcomed to ask any questions, to share any experiences, and then we'll go on and have a beautiful day. So that's it for me. If you want to learn more about my online 100% live Reiki classes, my community Discord, Crystal Shop, or social media, all of it is linked in the description below. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor and a pleasure to share this healing with you today, and I hope that you have a beautiful session. Cool. We have tiger's eye. I'm going to add a little more tiger eye because I feel like it keeps coming in. But yeah, we got both, preemptive both. So we're going to put in sapphire, leopard skin jasper, and more tiger eye. Let's see. Let's put the leopard skin jasper here and here. Yeah. These are some bigger pieces of tiger eye that I have, and I'll put them here to go with these little guys. There we go. And sapphire, we have 4. There we go. Fantastic. So everybody go ahead, get nice and comfortable. Enjoy your session. I will be back for you in 25 minutes, which will bring us to a quarter after the top of the hour. If you started on time with me. So yeah, enjoy your session, and I will see you in 25 minutes. I invite you now to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly start coming back to your body. Thank you so much for being here. It was an honor and a pleasure. And if you have any questions or anything to share, I invite you to use the chat. I'm gonna reposition the mic. One of the cats jumped in my lap not long after I started with the Reiki, and she's currently purring. So I'll see if I can get you to hear her. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, Anita. She is completely stretched out over my lap. Thank you all so much for being here. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank Thank you, Anita. We hope you drop by again soon as well. And thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm going to go ahead and let the kitten purrs take us out. Yes, and happy birthday, Scorpios. The Scorpio readings will be up this afternoon. So I'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday at 4 p.m., Fridays 4 and 8 p.m., Saturdays at 8 p.m., and definitely feel free to check out the tarot readings for all 12 signs. Most are already up. And don't forget to subscribe with your notifications on so you don't miss a chance to drop in for some community distance Reiki. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here with an abundance of gratitude and a purring kitten. Thank you all so much for being here and being a part of the collective energy. It's such a privilege to be here myself. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care of yourself, and bye for now.